What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of MLB action here on Sunday, August 31st. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the best chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, we covered a chunk of the NCAA football slate, and it did not go great. Ended up a pretty brutal day overall. We did cash USC at minus 35.5, and they absolutely demolished newcomer to, real big-time college football there in, Missouri State. They got destroyed, but we'll take the win on that one. But other than that, it was a terrible day in college football. So pretty bleak stuff. I believe the email college football pick did cash, and we had some wins there in the premium section, but not the day we were hoping for regardless. Across the board, not ideal. So we're going to dive in. We've got a huge slate of MLB action to cover in this one. So we're going to hop right in, take a look at that. And first game we've got on slate here on Sunday is the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The Cardinals come into this game playing pretty well. They've won 3 in a row, and they're only one game below 500. That does still leave them 5.5 games out of the NL wild card hunt, so we'll see what they can do down the stretch. They're hitting the ball in this one to young Andre Pallante, who is 6-12 on the year, a 5.44 ERA. His last 4 starts have all been disasters. The Cardinals are 0-5 the last 5 times he's been on the mound. He's taken on the Cincinnati Reds here, a team that he had a very good start against back in late June, but he was looking like a completely different pitcher back then, so I'm not exactly holding my breath for a good start here from Andre Pallante. Now the Cardinals bullpen, a completely different situation. They've been excellent this season, all the way down to a 3.59 bullpen ERA, one of the best 4 or 5 bullpens in all of baseball right now, without a doubt. Now offensively, getting Contreras back, definitely helpful. They've scored 4, 7, and 4 runs over their last 3 games, though not hitting the cover off the ball necessarily. I mean, they're 16th in runs scored, they're 16th in batting average. Gone is this Cardinals offensive early in the season where they were looking like, one of the best, 5 or 6 offenses in all of Major League Baseball. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Reds, who have now lost 5 in a row. They've really have a hard time here down the stretch. Yeah, they're 2-8 in their last 10. They're now 5 games back of the Mets for that last wild card spot in the National League. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Brady Singer. He's 11-9 on the year, a 4.06 ERA, coming off great starts. So he's been throwing the ball with some of the best this season, honestly. A dominant shutout start there against the Phillies, a dominant 1-run start there against the Angels, and then gave up only 1 run over 6 innings against the Diamondbacks his last time on the mound. And, can't help but notice the Reds are 4-1 over his last 5 starts. So a lot of good stuff for Brady Singer recently. The last time he faced the Cardinals, he was lights out as well. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run in that one. The Cardinals did win that game 6-1 eventually, but obviously Singer was lights out in that game. Now, the bullpen for the Reds hasn't been terrible here down the stretch. A 3.89 bullpen ERA, definitely not a huge problem, but the offense has dried up pretty aggressively. 2, 5, 1, 3, and 0 runs scored over their last few games for the Reds. They're down to 13th in runs scored. They're 18th in batting average, 22nd in slugging percentage. They have to figure out a way to be better at the plate, or they're going to have a really rough time even making things competitive there in the wild card situation. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Cardinals are plus 118. The Reds are minus 140. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Cardinals are 31-37 on the road, 34-30-4 to the over on the road. The Reds are 36-30 at home, 40-21-5 to the under at home. That's actually an MLB best to the under. I'm not interested in the under here, though. I would lean towards the over, if anything, but much better than that, guys. I'll take the Reds here at minus 140. I don't think they lose a 6th straight game here. I think Brady Singer's going to go out there and be excellent against a team he's got good history against, and Pallante has been horrible lately, so the Reds at minus 140 have an excellent shot to make the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we've got the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Padres won Game 2 of this series 12-3 after dropping Game 1 at 76-60 on the year. They're making things tough on the Dodgers. They're only 1 game back there in the NL West. They'll hand the ball in this game to David Morgan, this young 25-year-old right-hander sporting a 2.95 ERA this season. This is looking like a full bullpen start there for the Padres, which for a lot of teams, that would be a reason for concern. For the Padres, not so much, guys. They've been the best bullpen in Major League Baseball all season long, currently sporting a 3.01 bullpen ERA. So I think they're going to be absolutely fine out there against the Twins. The offense for the Padres coming off a 12-run game has to feel great, but haven't necessarily been swinging the hottest bats and have had their struggles at the plate this season in general. Obviously, Bogartis, going in the aisle with that left foot fracture, that's a tough look. They're 22nd in the majors in runs scored. They're 25th in slugging percentage, but top 10 in both batting average and on base percentage. So I expect them to find a way to get on the board here against the Twins, but we'll see how much that actually happens. The Twins at 61 and 74 on the year are out of contention, but they'll hand the ball in this game to Joe Ryan, who's 12-7 on the season, a 3.22 ERA. His last two starts have been terrible, but in general, he's had a pretty good season. We'll see what he can do here against the Padres. Not the scariest team to face right now, and he hasn't faced them yet this year, so I do think Joe Ryan probably in for a good start here, but I am worried about that Twins bullpen. They've been awful this season. A 4.41 bullpen ERA is absolutely atrocious, and the offense, well, that hasn't been too special. I mean, 3, 7, 8, 7, 4, and 0 over their last few is pretty hot hitting for a team that's 25th in the majors in runs scored, 24th in batting average, like not the scariest team at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this one, the Padres are actually plus 110. The Twins are minus 130. We've got a total of 8 in this game. The Padres 33 and 38 on the road, 38, 31, and 2 to the under on the road. The Twins are 34 and 32 at home, 32, 31, and 3 to the under at home. I don't think under 8 is insane in this spot, especially, I think it's going to be a good bullpen day there for the Padres, and I think the Twins are going to get good stuff from Joe Ryan. So under 8 is live. In terms of a side, I don't have a big lean here, if I'm being completely honest. I guess I'll take the Twins in this bounce back spot, but really I think the under is the better play, or just avoid this one altogether. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates headed to Fenway to take on the Red Sox. The Pirates got the nice 10-3 win there in Game 2. They won Game 1 as well. At 61 and 76 on the year, they don't have a lot left to play for, but they're playing some of their best baseball of the season, and they'll hand the ball in this game to Mitch Keller, who's 6 and 12 this year, a 4.35 ERA, coming off a very reasonable start there against the Cardinals. 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs allowed, and an 8-3 win there for Pittsburgh. So pretty good stuff there. Obviously, going up against the Red Sox is a little bit different than going up against the Cardinals, and he hasn't faced them this season, but they're not swinging the hottest bats right now, and I do like what I saw from Keller in his last outing. We are a little bit concerned still, though. The last time he faced good American League offense, it was the Blue Jays, and he gave up 5 runs over 3 1/3 innings in a 7-3 loss. So we'll see what we get from Keller in this one. Obviously, the Pirates bullpen hasn't been anything too special this season. The offense hitting the ball really well the last couple days, but 10, 4, 1, 2, 8, 6, and 4 over their last few isn't that incredible given who they've played against. This is still the lowest scoring team in the majors and the lowest batting or slugging percentage team in the majors as well. So not super high on the Pirates offensively. They're taking on a Red Sox team that, dropping 2 in a row isn't great when you're trying to make a dent there in the Toronto Blue Jays lead. They're 3.5 games back of the Blue Jays, 1.5 games back of the Yankees there in the crazy American League East. They'll hand the ball to Lucas Giolito in this game. He's been great, 9 and 2 on the year, a 3.47 ERA, went 8 innings, gave up 4 hits and no runs against Baltimore his last time on the mound. Now, we are a little bit concerned about the fact he went 8 innings because the last time he went 8 innings in a game was against Houston, and he got shelled by the Padres right after that happening. Let's see if we've got some more instances of that, of him going super deep into games and then struggling the next. No, that's the only 2 times he's gone 8 innings in a game this season. So we'll see what we get from Giolito. I'm not going to be holding my breath for him to be amazing here, and the Pirates are swinging the bats pretty well. Obviously, the Boston bullpen's been excellent. That has not been a struggle for this team this season whatsoever. The offense, though, is not looking great. 3, 2, 3, and 3 over their last few games. Not swinging the hottest bats. They're 4th in the majors in runs scored this year, 8th in slugging percentage, but right now, not swinging the bats that great. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Pirates are plus 150. The Red Sox are minus 175. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. Pittsburgh's only 22 and 46 on the road, 39, 26, and 3 to the under on the road. Boston's 41 and 27 at home, 36, 30, and 2 to the under at home. I actually don't think this is an insane spot to take the Pirates at plus 150. I think Giolito could struggle coming off of that extended start. Mitch Keller did throw the ball well his last time out, but I don't trust that hunch enough to put this in the pinned comment. But if you're begging me for a side, I will take the Pirates as a small lean. Hey guys, jumping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NCAA football, UFC, and NFL Week 1 picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last several years in a row and has had a great 2025 season overall. A fantastic July. You'll see the numbers up on screen either right now or here in just a second, but July was an extremely profitable month, making over 50 units there for our premium MLB members. Now, August has been a little bit of a struggle. We are working college football here into the mix. Our premium picks yesterday didn't have an amazing time. It was a nice slate, a ton of college football action, a good chunk of MLB action there as well. Got off to a rough start there. Indiana couldn't cover that 23.5 points as a 1-unit play. Texas was also another college football lean. They end up coming up short in that game. A very low scoring game as well, but a nice bounce back there. Virginia at -12. That came through for us. Kentucky -7.5 was another 2-unit win. Unfortunately, Florida Atlantic getting 14.5 couldn't really make that happen for us. So, but a little bit of a bounce back there in MLB. A nice win there on the Orioles as a 1-unit play. The Mets did let us down there, a little bit disappointing, but Tampa Bay came through as a nice 2-unit play there to close the day. So 4-4 across the board, pretty much a break-even day. But now what we're looking for, obviously, we're looking to print some profit there for our premium members. So definitely, consider jumping over there and signing up if you want to get in on the bounce back that I am very hopeful is coming. Also, you got to go over there to stumpthespread.com and get on that free email newsletter list. I know they had Arizona as a college football play there on the free pick in the email yesterday, and I believe Arizona did come through. It's a great resource, that email list, guys. You want to get over there, get on that email list. All they need is your name and your email address. 1 email per day straight to your inbox. Great information in there, at least 1 free pick, oftentimes 2. Information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, tennis, like all kinds of great information. Parlays are often in those emails as well. So definitely get over there and check that out. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, you can click that little join button right below the video to sign up to become a YouTube channel member. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, and guys, you get access to our members only giveaways on the 1st. So tomorrow we'll be doing a giveaway for another Stump the Spread hoodie. We do one every 7 days. So every single week, a hoodie giveaway to one random channel member. We put a wheel on the screen with everybody's name on it, spin that wheel, and whoever it comes up on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie mailed straight to their place of residence. So definitely check that out if you're interested, guys. But we got to dive back in. We got a full slate here on Sunday. And next up, we're going to be looking at the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Rays come into this game 66-69 on the year. They've got a lot of work to do if they want to stay in the hunt there in the American League wildcard race. They'll hand the ball in this one to Ian Seymour. He's a young left-hander sporting a 3.18 ERA. He did make a start his last time out and was a lot better than his bullpen work looked. I mean, 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs allowed, struck out 8 and walked 1 against Cleveland in a 9-0 win. So we'll see what he can do here against the Nationals. Obviously not the scariest team to face. I'm expecting Seymour to be pretty good out there. The Rays bullpen's been solid this year. That has not been a problem for this team. The offense, not so great down the stretch. 4-4, 3-0, and 9 over their last few games. I mean, not the end of the world, I guess, but they're down to 14th in the majors in runs scored and 19th in on-base percentage after looking like one of the best offenses in the majors at a few different points this year. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Nationals, who have now lost 7 straight games. They're going to hand the ball to Brad Lord, who's sporting a 3.84 ERA and is coming off of back-to-back terrible starts, getting shelled by both New York teams, really struggling against the Yankees and against the Mets. So we'll see what he can do here against the Tampa Bay Rays. Obviously, kind of a different situation than those two teams, but I don't believe he's faced Tampa Bay this season at all. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm not expecting miracles from him. I'm certainly not expecting anything positive for that Nationals bullpen. It's been the worst bullpen in baseball this year, and the offense swinging some of the coldest bats in the majors. 1, 2, and 1 runs respectively scored over their last few games. They're all the way down to 23rd in the majors in runs scored, 22nd in on-base percentage. They've got some guys banged up right now. Like, not a lot of positive things to report right now for the Washington Nationals. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Rays are -150, the Nationals are +130. We've got a total of 9 out there in this one. Tampa Bay is only 32-36 on the road, 36-29 and 3 to the under on the road. Washington's 26-41 at home, 33-30 and 4 to the over at home. No major lean on the total in this game, guys, but I definitely like the Rays. -150 feels a bit expensive, but against a Tampa Bay team that can't hit water if they fall out of a boat right now, I think the Rays are definitely the way to go. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Milwaukee has won each of the first 2 games of the series, kind of cementing themselves, in my mind, as maybe the best team in Major League Baseball. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Brandon Woodruff. He's 5-1 on the year, a 3.10 ERA. He is coming off a pretty mediocre start there against Arizona, and the last 2 times he's been on the mound haven't exactly filled me with optimism. Now, that being said, he's had a pretty good season, but most of his great work has been done against pretty bad opponents. So we'll see what he can do here against a premium level offense in the Toronto Blue Jays. The Milwaukee Brewers bullpen has not been great overall this season, but has been much better recently, down to a 3.79 bullpen ERA, but still not necessarily a bullpen that I'm in love with. The offense, though, maybe I am in love with them, guys. 4, 7, 4, 2, 9, and 7 over their last few games. And that's not even that great of hitting for a team that's second in runs scored this year and second in both batting average and on base percentage. So we'll see what they do here in Toronto, taking on the Blue Jays, who at 78 and 58 on the year only have a 2-game lead against the Yankees. That lead evaporated all of a sudden with New York playing much, much better. They'll hand the ball in this game to Max Scherzer, who's 5-2 on the season, a 3.82 ERA. This 41-year-old super veteran coming off kind of a rough outing there against the Twins. 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs allowed. Gave him a couple home runs in that one, but had been throwing the ball really, really well recently. Had 4 starts in a row. They were all premium. 5 starts in a row, maybe at least 4 in a row, though. So we'll see what he can do here against a team like Milwaukee. Obviously, a very hard-hitting team, but I'm expecting Scherzer to make it pretty tough on them. Now, the bullpen for Toronto has not been great. A 4.13 bullpen ERA, definitely holding this team back at this point, and the offense not looking so hot in the first 2 games of the series, scoring 1 and 2 runs respectively. But this has been one of the most dangerous offensive teams in the majors this year. They're first in batting average, first in on-base percentage, and top 6, top 7 in both runs scored and slugging percentage. So absolutely one of the scariest teams you can face at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Brewers are plus 100. The Blue Jays are minus 120. A total of 8.5 in this game. Milwaukee is 40 and 28 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. 33, 32, and 3 to the under on the road. Toronto's 44 and 24 at home. 41, 25, and 2 to the over at home. That's actually an MLB best to the over. I'm not going to be taking over 8.5 in this game, though. I think we're going to see a playoff atmosphere in this game as well as the rest of this series. I think this is a pretty decent spot to back the Toronto Blue Jays. I know they're minus 120. I don't think that's a terrible price. Woodruff has not been throwing the ball well recently, and I don't think the Brewers are going to sweep this series or anything like that. So I think with Scherzer on the mound, this is a great chance for Toronto to get a win. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Marlins and Mets locked in a long series here, and the Marlins are making it a pretty real deal. It's 2 games apiece right now. Or no. It's a 2-1 lead for the Marlins. They won game 1 7-4, lost game 2 in a blowout, and then won game 3 11-8. They'll hand the ball in the next one to Sandy Alcantara. He's been pretty bad this season, 7-11 overall, a 5.87 ERA. But his last 3 starts have all been excellent. Good work against Atlanta, St. Louis, and Boston. So if we'll see if he can have a good outing here against the Mets, a team that has not, been dominant at the plate this season, and he had a decent start against them, but that was all the way back in April. So we'll see which version of Alcantara we get. Obviously, not a guy that's had a great season. Speaking of not having great seasons, that Marlins bullpen, pretty terrible. A 4.38 bullpen ERA has them, way down there in the bottom of the league. The offense, though, 11, 9, and 7 so far in this series. They're hitting the ball really, really well. They're 17th in runs scored this year. They're 12th in batting average, but right now they're swinging some very hot bats. So we'll see if the Mets can cool them down. They are 73 and 63 on the year, 6 games back of the Phillies now, but looking very, very good in that wild card situation. Still a 5-game cushion there with the Reds. They'll hand the ball in this game to Kodai Senga, who's 7-5 on the season, a 2.73 ERA. His last start was against the Phillies, and he wasn't very good, and really he struggled his last 2 times at on the mound. So we'll see what he can do here against the Marlins. Obviously not the scariest team to face, but still they're hitting the ball pretty well. He started against them twice to open his season and was pretty good. So we'll see which version of Kodai Senga we get in this one. We'll also see which version of the Mets bullpen we get. They have not been a great bullpen here down the stretch, an ERA right around 4 now, and the offense, they did have the 19-run game, which looks great, and a great series there against the Phillies, but right now, are they swinging the bats amazing? I struggle to say that. They're 10th in runs scored. They're 5th in on-base percentage this year, but maybe not swinging the hottest bats right now. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Marlins are plus 150. The Mets are minus 175. We've got a total of 8 out there. The Marlins are 33 and 35 on the road, 35, 31, and 2 to the over on the road. The Mets are 44 and 26 at home, 35, 32, and 3 to the over at home. You could maybe talk me into over 8 in this game. I think we'll see some offense for sure, and I'm not in love with either bullpen. In terms of a side, probably the Mets will find a way to get the win in this game, but Alcantara's been throwing the ball a little bit better, and plus 150 is a little bit tempting there on the Marlins. So, yeah, I'm going to lean just slightly towards Miami on the road to figure out another win here, but I think the over is probably the better play on a game where I'm mostly going to stay away. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Mariners have lost the first two of this series in Cleveland, so that's not a great look. They're now 3 games back of Houston in the AL West. They'll hand the ball in this one to Bryce Miller, who's 3-5 on the season, a 5.98 ERA. Not having a great time over his last 4 or 5 starts, to be honest. It's been pretty brutal stuff. The Mariners are only 2-3 over that span. Now he's got to go up against the Guardians, a team he hasn't faced this year, so maybe he can bounce back, but I'm not loving what I'm seeing right now from Bryce Miller. The bullpen for the Mariners hasn't been dominant down the stretch, but it's been fine this year, but not, like I said, dominant. And the offense has carried this team at some points this year, but the last couple games have been a little bit bleak. 3-4-4 over the last 3. They're down to 11th in runs scored. They're 21st in batting average, 15th in on-base percentage. Cal Raleigh has really carried the load for this team at the plate. So we'll see what they do here in Cleveland, taking on a Guardians team that's now won 4 in a row, and it's 68-66 on the season. Probably don't feel like they're completely out of it there in the American League wildcard hunt because they're only 3 games back. They'll hand the ball in this one to Tanner Bybee, who's 9-10 on the year, a 4.73 ERA. He was seen having some pretty aggressive things to say in the dugout after his last outing, and really, over his last 5 starts, he has not been very good. So we'll see what he looks like here against the Mariners, a team that he hasn't faced since back in June, where he was decent over 5 innings, but I wouldn't say he was dominant. So we'll see which version of Bybee we get in this one. Obviously, that Cleveland bullpen's been excellent. A 3.61 bullpen ERA has had them in the top 5, 6, 7, something like that in the majors basically all year. The offense, I can't really say they're popping off. I mean, 4, 5, 4, and 3 over your last few games. Just because they were all wins doesn't mean your offense was doing anything special. They're 28th in the majors in runs scored this year. They're last in both batting average and on base percentage. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Mariners are -120. The Guardians are +100. Got a total of 8.5 out there. The Mariners are 31-36 on the road, 37-29-1 to the over on the road. Cleveland's 35-32 at home, 33-31-3 to the over at home. I think we'll probably see the Mariners bounce back and find a way to get the win in this one. I don't necessarily love this spot because I don't trust Bryce Miller too much, but I will lean towards the Mariners and maybe just a hair towards the over, but I think the Mariners are the better play here. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Angels stayed competitive for more of the season than I would have expected, but at 63-72 on the year, they're not headed anywhere important here in the postseason. They'll hand the ball to Jose Soriano, who's 9-9 on the year, a 3.85 ERA. His last start, he was lights out against the Rangers in a 4-0 win there for these Angels. Other than that, though, he's been a little bit all over the place. A good start against the Dodgers, a terrible start against the Athletics, a terrible start against the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll see what he does here against the Astros. He faced them back in late June. It was very good, so maybe he's got a bounce back in him, or maybe he can have more than one consecutive good start. We'll see if that can happen. Obviously, the bullpen for the Angels has been atrocious this season, bottom 3 in the majors. And the offense, well, they're coming off a 4-run game, but 4-0-3-3-4 over their last few does not qualify as hot hitting to me. They're all the way down to 20th in the majors in runs scored and second to last in the majors in batting average. So we'll see what they can do against the Astros, who at 75-61 in the year are leading the AL West by 3 full games. They'll hand the ball in this one to Hunter Brown, who's 10-6 on the season, a 2.37 ERA. He did have a really rough time his last time out there, though. Going up against the Rockies, 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits, gave up 6 runs, only 2 of which were earned. Yeah, a little bit of a weird outing there for Hunter Brown. I'm expecting him to be much better this time. We'll see what he can do against the Angels, a team he dominated back in late June. So I'm expecting good stuff from Hunter Brown. He's been very good this year in general. Obviously, the Astros bullpen has been something of a strength, even if it hasn't been completely elite here recently. The offense has been what's held this team back. And I mean, 1, 2, 4, 4, and 1 over their last few games. That's pretty brutal when you're talking about series against the Angels and the Rockies. We'll see if they can put some runs on the board. They're 21st in runs scored, 4th in batting average, but 15th in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers for this one, the Angels are +148, the Astros are -175, a total of 7.5 in this game. The Angels are 29-37 on the road, 35-29-2 to the over on the road. Houston is 41-29 at home, 39-29-2 to the under at home. No major lean on the total in this game. I do think Hunter Brown will help the Astros get the job done here, but at -175, not really a spot that I'm in love with, especially with those weak hitting Astros. Rolling along here, guys, we're looking at the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Tigers come into this game struggling. They've lost 5 out of their last 6 games, including game 2 of this series against Kansas City. They still have an 8.5 game lead over the Royals, so I'm sure they're not terrified. They'll hand the ball in this one to Tariq Skubal. So happy Skubal Day to all those who celebrate. He's 11-4 on the year, a 2.28 ERA. Coming off a pretty bad start there against the Athletics, though. Gave up 7 hits, 6 runs overall. overall. Only one of them was earned. Struck out 12 and walked 0 in a game. We gave up 2 home runs, and we saw the Tigers lose 8-3. So we'll see if he can bounce back a little bit, and not all of that debacle was his fault, obviously, and have a good outing against a Royals team he shut out over 7 innings back in late May. So obviously expecting very good stuff from Skubal, but I'm also expecting not as good of stuff from the Tigers bullpen. They're showing signs of improvement, but definitely not an elite bullpen unit in my mind. The offense has disappeared. 1-5-0-6 and 3 over their last few games is not going to be good enough. This team is 8th in the majors in runs scored, but down to 14th in batting average and 10th in slugging percentage. Just got to be a little bit better there at the plate. So we'll see what they do against the Royals. They come into this one playing pretty well, winning 3 of 4. They've definitely got lots of work still to do, but only 2 games back of the Mariners for that last wild card spot in the American League. So definitely not out of reach. They'll hand the ball in this game to Michael Wacha. Sounds like he's still scheduled to start for this game despite being on the paternity list. So keep a very close eye on that. He could disappear on us. He's 8-10 on the season, a 3.39 ERA. Coming off a mediocre start there against the Tigers, 6 innings, 8 hits, and 3 earned runs at Detroit in a game we eventually saw the Royals lose 4-2. So we'll see if we can do a little bit better than that this time against the Tigers. The bullpen for the Royals has been good this season, no doubt about that, but the offense has been bad, no doubt about that either, guys. They're all the way down to 27th in the majors in runs scored, 17th in batting average. They scored 3-3, 12, 5, and 0 over their last few games. I'm not expecting this team to put up a big crooked number here against a guy like Skubal. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Tigers are -175. The Royals are +150. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. Detroit is 35-33 on the road, 37-30 and 1 to the over on the road. The Royals are 37-31 at home, 41-26 and 1 to the under at home. I do think under 7.5 is actually live in this game, but better than that, I'll just take the Tigers at -175. I think Skubal's going to have a great time out there. Wacha has a million things on his mind right now that aren't even baseball related, so definitely give me the Tigers here at -175, and with Skubal on the mound, this could be our lock of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the New York Yankees heading to Chicago to take on the White Sox. The Yankees playing really well right now, taking advantage of some very weak schedule as well to win 7 in a row and get things down to a 2-game deficit for them in the AL East. They'll hand the ball in this game to Luis Gil, who's 2-1 on the season, a 3.75 ERA. His last few starts have looked very, very good, really rounding into form. Dominant performance against the Cardinals, the Red Sox, and the Nationals. So we'll see what it looks like here against the White Sox. Obviously not a big change, a big step up in competition, I will say that. The Yankees bullpen is always a concern here down the stretch, though. A 4.25 bullpen ERA is not what they were hoping for this season. The offense, though, making up for lost time. 5, 10, 10, 11, 5, and 10 over their last few. Guys, they're first in the majors in runs scored. They're third in on-base percentage, first in slugging percentage. Clearly, this could be the most dangerous offense in all of Major League Baseball. So we'll see what they do against the White Sox. They've lost 5 in a row. They've been out of it forever. They're handing the ball in this one to Martin Perez, who's 1-3 on the year, a 2.20 ERA. He is coming off a great start there against the Royals, but he went 7 innings in that outing, and that is not something he's even approached doing this season. So we'll see how that goes. I'm expecting him to be a little bit tired. No major shock there. The bullpen for the White Sox is not great. A 4.18 bullpen ERA is terrible, and the offense 3, 2, 4, 1, and 4 over their last several games. They're 26th in the majors in runs scored. They're 27th in batting average. They're also banged up there with Vargas going to the 10-day IL. So, yeah, not a lot of crazy positive things to say about the White Sox right now. So, looking at the numbers here, guys, the Yankees are -200. The White Sox are +165. Got a total of 9 in this game. The Yankees are 35-32 on the road, 35, 29, and 3 to the over on the road. The White Sox are 29-42 at home, 38, 28, and 5 to the over at home. Given these trends, maybe you want to take a look at over 9. I don't think that's insane, but I won't be getting too involved with that one. In terms of a side, I will take the Yankees. I think this winning streak continues, but not a player I'm showing enough value to put it in the pinned comment. Rolling through these games, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Cubs heading to Colorado to take on the Rockies. The Cubs have won the first 2 games of this series. Game 2 was very close. It was 4-3, but the Cubs at 78-58 on the season can't be too upset. They're probably not going to catch the Brewers there in the NL Central, but they have a 5-game lead in the National League wild card hunt. So they're feeling very good about that. They'll hand the ball in this one to Matthew Boyd, who's 12-7 on the season, a 2.82 ERA. His last couple of starts, though, have been troubling. A weird start there against Milwaukee where the Cubs ended up winning despite him not being very good. And then his last time on the mound, he got shelled in San Francisco. So we'll see if he's got a bounce back. And him going up against the Rockies should be a pretty good time to do that. We'll see if it happens. The Cubs bullpen, a 3.86 bullpen ERA doesn't get me super excited, but it's not, a disaster bullpen. The offense not living up to what it did in the early season. They're 15th in the majors in batting average, 11th in on-base percentage, 6th in runs scored, but 4-11, 3-3, and 2 over their last few games is not very hot hitting. So we'll see if they can get it going here a little bit more against the Rockies, who obviously the worst team in Major League Baseball, 38 and 98 on the year. They'll hand the ball to Tanner Gordon in this game. He's 5-5 this year, a 6.44 ERA. His last couple of starts, he's been throwing the ball great. Very good stuff there against the Dodgers and the Astros. Can he keep that rolling here against the Cubs? Well, they're not hitting the ball the hardest right now, and he did have a mediocre to decent start there against them in May, so maybe Tanner Gordon will be all right in this one. So looking at the numbers for the bullpen there for the Rockies, that is astoundingly bad, guys. Second worst bullpen in the majors and getting worse as time goes on. The offense, 3-7-3, 0-6, and 0 over their last few. Not a lot of good hitters left on this Rockies lineup. They're 29th in runs scored and 29th in on-base percentage. So not shocked to see the Cubs as big favorites here. They're minus 250. The Rockies are plus 205. A total of 11 in this game. The Cubs are 37 and 33 on the road, 33, 32, and 5 to the over on the road. The Rockies are actually 21 and 47 at home. That's an MLB worst home record, and they are a slight under team at home. And I really don't think under 11 is nuts in this game. I think Boyd will be fine out there. I actually think Tanner Gordon will be fine out there, so don't think the under is live. In terms of a side, I will take the Cubs because I'm not backing the Rockies right now, but not a lot of value on the side. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Orioles come into this game fresh off an 11-1 win there in Game 2 of this series against the Giants. They're going to hit the ball in this one to Tomoyuki Sagano. He's 10-6 on the year, a 4.06 ERA. Coming off on a mediocre start against the Red Sox. I mean, 6 innings, 6 hits, and 4 earned runs isn't great, but Sagano was throwing the ball really, really well before that, and we'll see if he can bounce back here going up against the Giants team that's, not exactly known for being great at the plate. He hasn't faced them this year yet, though. The Baltimore bullpen's terrible. A 4.65 bullpen ERA is not good. The offense coming up with 11 runs yesterday, I'm sure feels great, but over the course of the year, they've taken a huge step backwards. They're 18th in runs scored, 22nd in batting average, and 14th in slugging percentage. So the Orioles, not a team that I'm super high on right now. They're going up against a Giants team that's actually playing really well. They've won 6 in a row before losing 11-1 there yesterday. They'll hand the ball to Justin Verlander in this game. He's 2-10 on the season, a 4.47 ERA, and he's actually been throwing the ball pretty well recently. He's been a bit inconsistent, but his last one on the mound was against the Cubs, and he did enough to give his team a chance to win. In terms of history against the Orioles this season, we really don't have any, but we'll see what Verlander looks like. I don't think he's going to go out there and get shelled. The bullpen situation for the Giants, they've been excellent this season, no question marks. So they're a 3.32 bullpen ERA. The offense, though, 1-15, 4-12, 5-4, and 7 over their last few is very hot hitting for a team that over the course of the season is 23rd in runs scored, 27th in batting average, and 26th in batting average. So, yeah, not great. Not great. Looking at the numbers for this one, the Orioles are plus 110. The Giants are minus 130. We've got a total of 8 out there. Baltimore's 30 and 38 on the road, 41, 25, and 2 to the under on the road. The Giants are a 500 team at home, 38, 27, and 3 to the under at home. With Sagano on the mound, there's a part of me that does want to back the Orioles, but I don't know if it's a big enough part of me to actually make that happen. So I will take the Giants with Verlander on the mound, kind of against my better judgment. In terms of the total, I'm going to lean a bit towards the under based on these trends, but none of this from this game is making the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Texas Rangers heading to Sacramento to take on the Athletics. The Rangers at 70 and 67 on the year. Got a lot of work to do, but they have won 7 of their last 8 games, and that's pushed them all the way up to 2.5 games back in the American League wildcard hunt. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jacob deGrom, who's been a problem recently, down to 10-6 on the year, a 2.79 ERA. His last start, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. Seems like with that and that dominant start against the Toronto Blue Jays, maybe he is back. He dealt with some, arm fatigue. We'll see how that goes. The last time he faced the Athletics, he was lights out over 6 innings and a 6-2 win for the Rangers. So liking a lot of what we're seeing right now from deGrom. The Rangers bullpen's been excellent all year long, so we're not worried about that. And the offense is coming along, which is a little bit weird. They're missing somebody right now with appendicitis, if I remember correctly. The Rangers have scored 9, 5, 20, 7, 0, and 5 over their last few. Pretty crazy stuff for a team that's been offensively challenged this year. So we'll see what they do against the Athletics, who at 63 and 74 don't have anything to play for this season, but are still playing relatively hard. They'll hand the ball in this game to JT Ginn, who's 2 and 5 on the season, a 4.96 ERA. His last couple of starts, not going super deep in the game, not doing amazing, but we do see the Athletics won both of those games at least. We'll see if they can, if he can make that continue. The last time he faced the Rangers, he was great over 5 innings, so make of that what you will. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Rangers Rangers are minus 155. The Athletics are plus 135. A total of 9.5 in this game. The Rangers are 28-40 on the road, 35-32-1 to the over on the road. The Athletics are 29-39 at home, 34-30-4 to the over at home. I would lean a bit towards under 9.5 in this game for sure. I don't think that's crazy. You could also interest me in no-run first inning in this spot. In terms of a side, I'm going to lean just a bit towards the Athletics at plus 135 as a potential dog of the day. I know DeGrom's thrown the ball a little bit better recently, but I think the Athletics are due to win a game in this series. I don't think the Rangers are that dominant of a team. And getting plus 135 with JT Ginn on the mound against a team he's got some very solid history versus, I think that is not something you want to pass up lightly. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Arizona Diamondbacks heading to LA to take on the Dodgers. The Diamondbacks have won 4 straight games. That's 2 against the Brewers and 2 now against the Dodgers. So crazy work from them there. They've got a lot of work to do to make the playoffs. But we'll see if they can make it happen here. Handing the ball to Brandon Pfaadt, who's 12-8 on the year, a 5.24 ERA, coming off just getting absolutely manhandled there by the Brewers, but he had been throwing the ball all right before that, so we'll see if he's got a little bit of a bounce back in him here going up against the Dodgers team that he faced twice back in May and was dominant in one outing and decent in the other. So pretty much expecting good stuff from Brandon Pfaadt here, expecting bad stuff from that Arizona bullpen as usual. 4.68 bullpen ERA. Not good. The offense, 6-3, 6-3, and 8 over their last few, though, is making stuff happen. After this team were sellers at the trade deadline, I thought they'd kind of pack up shop. Well, they are still trying to win games. They're 4th in runs scored, 2nd in slugging percentage, and 7th in on-base percentage. So we'll see what they can do against the Dodgers, who at 77-59 on the year are only 1 game up on the Padres there in the NL West. They'll hand the ball to Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's 11-8 this year, a 2.90 ERA. His last few starts, he's finally getting stretched out a little bit, looking a lot better. A good outing against San Diego, a decent outing against the Rockies. We'll see what he looks like here against the Diamondbacks. Obviously, a very different situation. He did dominate them back in late May, but struggled against them in early May. So we'll see which version of Yamamoto we get in this game. The bullpen for the Dodgers has been pretty bad. That's not super helpful. And the offense, 1-0, 5-3, 5-6, and 7 is not incredible work. They're 3rd in runs scored and 8th in batting average. Obviously, Ohtani's done some great stuff recently, but I'm a little bit worried about the Dodgers at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Diamondbacks are plus 180. The Dodgers are minus 220. We've got a total of 9 in this game. Arizona's 34-37 on the road, 33-34-4 to the under on the road. The Dodgers are 44-26 at home, 38-30-2 to the over at home. I'm not interested in the total in this game, but I will definitely take the Dodgers at minus 220 with Yamamoto on the mound. It's not going in the pinned comment. I don't think there's much value necessarily, but I do think we see the Dodgers find a way to come away with the win. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Sunday night baseball matchup between the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. The Braves at 61-75 this year just got swept by the Phillies, so I'm sure that felt lost the first 3 games of the series against the Phillies. The last 2 are very close. They can at least take some solace from that, but this is not a team that's going to make the playoffs. They're going to hand the ball in this game, though, to someone who's going to be in the playoffs an awful lot in his career, and that's Hurston Waldrep. This young 23-year-old phenom is 4-0 on the season, a 0.90 ERA. Just gave up an earned run there against Miami, but we can't help but notice that Atlanta is 5-0 over his last 5 starts. We'll see what he can do against the Phillies, but I'm expecting this kid to go out there and be pretty much fearless against one of the toughest offenses at times in the major league. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, the Atlanta Braves bullpen has kind of let go of the rope all the way up to a 4.19 bullpen ERA. The offense 2-1 4 over their last few games. Not great, not hitting the ball really well. They're 15th in the majors in runs scored and 19th in batting average. So we'll see what happens. Sale coming back could be a really big deal for this team as well. They're going up against a Phillies squad that just won the first 3 games of this series, so I'm sure they feel great about that. They're going to hand the ball here to Jesus Luzardo, who's 12-6 on the year, a 4.23 ERA, and he's coming off one of those starts. He was not good. 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs allowed. Also walked 3 and struck out 5 in a 6-5 loss. So we'll see if he can get back on track here going up against a team like the Atlanta Braves. I am a little bit worried about him. The Braves, the last time they faced Atlanta, 5 innings, 7 hits, and 2 earned runs. Luzardo has been good this season, don't get me wrong, but definitely inconsistent. So we'll see if that inconsistency rears its ugly head on this, on this game. So looking at the bullpen for the Phillies, it's pretty bad. Not going to sugarcoat it. A 4.33 bullpen ERA is pretty atrocious. The offense 3-2, 19, 0-5, and 3 over their last few. Not really adequate if I'm being honest. It seems like it should be a great offense, and they're 9th in runs scored, 3rd in batting average, 6th in on-base percentage, but it just doesn't feel on a nightly basis like you can trust this team at the plate. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Braves are plus 130, the Phillies are minus 150, totals of 8.5 or 9 out there. Atlanta's 27 and 42 on the road, 34-30 and 5 to the over on the road. The Phillies are 45 and 22 at home, 33-30 and 4 to the over at home. I mean, with both teams showing trends towards the over, I guess you can get involved in that if you want. I won't be doing that, but I will definitely be strongly considering the Atlanta Braves at plus 130 as our dog of the day. Waldrep is a monster, and those Phillies bats can disappear at the drop of a hat, so definitely think Atlanta has a chance to do something pretty special here on Sunday Night Baseball. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everyone watching. Make sure you're clicking that link in the description and get over to stumpthespread.com. Check out all the premium plays over there. NFL Week 1. We've got a little bit of college action still to come and tons of MLB picks in there every single day. So definitely check that out, and we will see and get on that free email newsletter list for sure. And we will see you guys back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.